Hi everyone, welcome to the next session of design and drawing of reinforced concrete structures. In last class, we have discussed about the design procedure of singly reinforced beam, as well as from previous sessions we have calculated what is meant by singly reinforced beam, and what are the various type of analysis procedure for singly reinforced beam. And as well as we have discussed about the design procedure of singly reinforced beam. We have solved some problems based on singly reinforced beam design. Today we will see one more discussion on design and analysis of doubly reinforced beam. Already you know, in singly reinforced beam we are providing the reinforcement in the tension zone to resist the load from the bottom of the concrete beam. In singly reinforced beam, normally we will calculating purpose, we are not considering any amount of steel reinforcement in the top of the beam. That means if you provide the reinforcement in the tension zone only, that term we are calling it as a singly reinforced beam. Whereas doubly reinforced beam, by definition, we are defined it as it is the type of the beam in which we are providing the reinforcement in the top zone as well as in the compression zone. That means we are providing the reinforcement in the compression zone as well as we are providing the reinforcement in the tension zone. If you observe here, in the singly reinforced section already we have calculated different types of step-by-step procedure. The same procedure also we are adapting in the design of doubly reinforced beam. First here, why I am considering the doubly reinforced beam means, suppose I am considering one beam and I am fixing the width of the beam and I am fixing the total depth of the beam, and I am providing some area of the steel reinforcement and I am applying the load. Due to this application of the load, the beam will may get deflect and beam will may get to shear force. That means some amount of force is acting on the beam. For this beam getting bending moment and shear force, to resist that beam we are providing the reinforcement. That means we are designing the beam. That design procedure of singly reinforced beam already we have discussed. For that, limiting capacity of the beam we have discussed. That means how much amount of the moment a beam can carry, that we are discussed. That means after fixing of some width of the beam, some depth of the beam, as well as by providing the concrete as well as area of the steel reinforcement, we calculating the limiting moment of the resistance. That limiting moment of the resistance, we are calculating this value as mu limit equal to Q into FCK into BD square. This is the limiting moment. That means I am fixing the width of the beam as well as I am fixing the effective depth of the beam, and where Q is the constant value, that it will be different from different types of grades of steel. If you take Fe 415 grade, for Fe 415 grade we are taking this value as 0.138. if you grade Fe 250, for Fe 250 we are considering this value as 0.138. For Fe 500, based on different types of grades of steels, we are calculating the limiting moment of the beam. For this limiting moment of the beam, by substituting some values, that means by fixing some values, I am getting this limiting moment value as 350 kilonewton meter. That means I am fixing the beam width, beam depth as well as beam length. After fixing all these parameters, the limiting moment I am calculating this value as 350 kilonewton meter. Whereas the applied moment, that means the additional load, limiting moment I have calculated by fixing the values. Next I am applying the some additional load on the beam. The additional load acting on the beam based on the type of load we are giving on the beam. Based on that amount of load giving on the beam it will may exceeds the limiting moment. Suppose the carrying capacity of the beam is 350 kilonewton per meter only, whereas the applied moment, suppose it will be 400 kilonewton meter. That means the applied load acting on the beam by calculation, by considering some amount of load, we calculate this value as 400 kilonewton per meter. To resist this movement, again we have to change the cross-sectional dimensions of the beam. That means again, if you increase the effective depth of the beam and if you increase the grade of the steel, like that, if you change the cross-sectional parameters of the values, the carrying capacity of the beam, it will may enhance based on the changing of the effective depth. But while increasing the effective depth of the beam, the architectural requirement, that means the appearance of the beam you are providing on the building, it may not looking good. Hence why, without changing the cross-sectional dimensions, we have to provide the extra additional steel reinforcement in the concrete, in the bottom zone as well as in the tension zone. That means to carry the additional moment of reinforcement, we are providing extra reinforcement in the same cross-sectional dimensions of the beam. That means the width of the section, the depth of the section, we are providing the same, whereas we are providing the extra reinforcement to carry out the additional moment. Suppose if you consider here, by fixing these values, we are getting this limiting moment as 350 kilonewton per meter, whereas the additional moment we are getting this value as 400 kilonewton meter. That means if you check here mu will be greater than mu limit. That means the actual applied load acting on the beam will be greater than the limiting moment. In those conditions, we will provide the doubly reinforced beam to carry the additional moment acting on the beam. Suppose the additional moment, how much it is acting means, if you substitute 400 minus 350 kilonewton, you will get the 50 kilonewton per meter. To get this additional moment to carry 50 kilonewton meter, we have to change we have to design the beam in a different way. That different way we will call it as a doubly reinforced beam. Suppose this applied moment will be equal to or less than the limiting moment, we can design the beam as a singly reinforced beam design, what we have discussed in our previous lessons. That means the applied moment, what you are getting, it will be less than the limiting moment. It will be less than the limiting moment. In those conditions, you can directly take the design procedure as singly reinforced beam. But in our condition, the applied moment is greater than the limiting moment. Hence why we have to design the beam in such other manner. That other manner is nothing but the provision of extra reinforcement in the compression zone as well as in the tension zone. If you observe here, I have written these some diagrams. I will explain these diagrams. What are these diagrams? If you consider here, this is the doubly reinforced beam. In this doubly reinforced beam, we are provided the reinforcement in the bottom zone as well as we are provided the reinforcement in the compression zone. The area of the steel reinforcement in compression zone, we are naming it as ASC. Area of the steel reinforcement in compression zone, we are naming it as ASC. The area of the steel reinforcement we are providing in the tension zone, that means bottom of the beam. For this bottom of the beam, we are calculating the area of the steel as AST. This is the simple representation of doubly reinforced beam. Again, the effective depth, total depth, effective cover, neutral axis, all these same procedures are same what you are discussed in our previous session. That means the neutral axis, the compression force, the tangential forces, all the analysis part what you have discussed in the previous session, that is same for this present discussion. First, in this condition only we are providing the additional reinforcement to resist the additional moment. Suppose if you consider here in this doubly reinforced beam, the applied moment we are taking this value as 400 kilonewton meter. That means if you consider here, this is the doubly reinforced beam. This beam we are considering it as for 400 kilonewton meter. That means the designed beam we are calculating for 400 kilonewton meter. That means if you consider some effective depth of the beam, area of the steel reinforcement in compression zone as well as area of the steel reinforcement in the bottom zone. If you provide the total depth of the beam some value and by using some grade of steel in the compression as well as in the tension, if you design the beam in such a way that we have to design that beam to carry 400 kilonewton per meter. Okay, that is the sectional design. Whereas this doubly reinforced beam, now I am converting into two diagrams. This doubly reinforced beam is now I am converted into two diagrams. Nothing but singly reinforced beam section as balanced section as well as to carry the additional moment, to resist the additional moment. One more diagram also I am taking to calculate the various type of compressive forces and tangential forces acting on the beam. If you see here, this doubly reinforced beam equal to figure 1 I am taking it as singly reinforced beam. This is singly reinforced beam, we are considering it as mu limit. That means the beam will carry the limiting moment. That limiting moment, how much it is carrying means 350 kilonewton per meter. This beam can carry the moment of 350 kilonewton meter. Whereas to resist the additional moment, that means the additional moment we are taking it as 50 kilonewton meter. To resist this additional moment, we have to calculate or we have to provide the extra reinforcement bars. That extra reinforcement bars we are providing in the top zone as well as we are providing in the bottom zone. If you observe here, the additional moment we are getting it as mu minus mu limit. That means 400 minus limiting moment. If you deduct, you will get the additional moment as 50 kilonewton meter. For this 50 kilonewton meter to resist, we have to provide additional reinforcement. That additional reinforcement we are placing some bars in bottom zone as well as some bars in the top portion. The steel bars what we are providing in the top portion, we are naming it as area of the steel reinforcement in compression zone, whereas the steel bars we are providing in the bottom zone, we are calling it as the area of the steel reinforcement. In singly reinforced beam, we are naming it as area of steel 1, and doubly in another additional section we are naming this provision of area of the steel reinforcement as AST 2. Up to this is the complete discussion of analysis of doubly reinforced beam. This is only just a diagrammatic representation for the analysis of doubly reinforced beam. Now we will calculate the analysis of compressive forces. That means what are the different type of compressive forces will be acting on the beam. Again, if you check here in this diagram, this is our neutral axis. That neutral axis means it divides the compressive forces as well as it divides the tangential forces. The top of the portion what is you are having above the compression phase, you are calling it, naming it as compressive force, and what is the zone available below this neutral axis, we are naming it as a tangential force. This is for a singly reinforced beam. Again, in this consideration also we are naming the compressive forces acting above the neutral axis will be called as the compressive forces, and the forces acting below the neutral axis we are naming it as a tangential forces. Based on our previous discussion, now we have to calculate the analysis of compressive forces in the top portion as well as analysis of tangential forces in a bottom portion. That means where C1 equal to C1 as well as C2 equal to T2. That means compressive force for a singly reinforced beam as well as tangential force for a singly reinforced beam. As well as here we are taking it as a compressive forces in a additional movement carrying capacity of the section, tangential force for a additional movement carrying capacity of the section. This is singly reinforced section. What is the previous discussion we have considered? The same procedure, the same thing will consider here. The only thing is we have to consider the analysis and compression portions only for this diagram. Again, if you observe here in this singly reinforced beam, we are providing this portion with concrete. That means the portion is completely filled with concrete. in concrete, to resist this additional moment in top portion, we are providing the area of the steel reinforcement. To know the how much amount of stresses are coming on this steel bars, how much amount of stress are coming on the steel bars in the compression zone, for that condition only we have considered this separate diagram, separate representation. That means if you consider in this diagram, the area of the steel reinforcement we are providing the compression zone. In this compression zone, what are the steel bars you are providing? For that some stresses are developing. That stresses to calculate, we are taking this one more diagram. Okay, now we will calculate the analysis of the compressive forces for this section as well as this section. If you observe here, doubly reinforced beam, it is the type of the beam in which we are providing the reinforcement in the tension zone as well as in the compression zone, as well as when the limiting moment capacity of the beam may not able to resist the additional load. In those conditions, will provide the doubly reinforced beam. In doubly reinforced beam, the area of the steel what you are providing in the compression zone, we are naming it as ASC. The area of the steel what you are providing in the tension zone, we are naming it as area of the steel in tension zone. For limiting moment, up to limiting moment, we are calculating one diagram. For to carry the additional moment, we are calculating the one more additional diagram to carry the additional moment. This is the example procedure for only the singly reinforced beam. Now we will calculate the, we will analyze the compressive forces acting on the beam. That means the compressive forces means how much amount of compressive forces acting on the singly reinforced beam, as well as how much amount of tangential forces acting on the singly reinforced beam. All these terms we will discuss. The procedure what you are getting for the doubly reinforced beam, it is same as for the singly reinforced beam. That means what is the procedure you are providing in doubly reinforced beam is same as this. Okay, if you observe in practical condition, the beams what we are providing, the beams all we are taking it as a doubly reinforced beam. For analysis purpose only, we are taking the beam analysis as singly reinforced beam. But if you observe any your practical beams, any will doing construction, we won't construct any type of a singly reinforced beam. For we will construct only doubly reinforced beam. Now I am writing here these terms as analysis of compressive forces. Okay, analysis of compressive forces. Analysis of compressive forces. That analysis of compressive forces we have to calculate for this singly reinforced balanced section as well as for this additional section. If you observe here, the what is the procedure you are adapting in the singly reinforced beam is same as, you need not to worry about this design of or analysis of doubly reinforced beam. If you clearly understand the analysis and design of singly reinforced beam, the same thing, the same design analysis steps will be repeated here. Okay, first we will calculate the analysis of compressive force for the singly reinforced beam as well as analysis of compressive force for this additional moment section. If you observe here, in this portion we are considering this concrete, in this portion we are taking this as the steel. First what I am doing means I am calculating the compressive forces for the figure 1 as well as I am calculate the compressive forces in figure 2. Next I will calculate the tangential forces in figure 1. I will calculate the tangential forces in figure 2. If you see here in this compressive force for the balanced section, that means the singly reinforced beam, I am naming it as, I am taking this value as a balanced section. If you again observe in previous sections, we have considered the balanced section, under reinforced section, over reinforced section. That means based on the neutral axis depth with respect to the limiting depth, these sections we have defined variously. That means balanced section, under reinforced section, over reinforced section we have discussed differently. Okay, and now we will calculate the analysis of compressive force. If you see here, in this diagram how much amount of compressive force acting on a beam. Now I am calculating that compressive forces. I am naming it as C1 for the singly reinforced balanced section. I am considering this beam as a balanced section. Okay. Whereas already we have discussed compressive force equal to stress into area of the cross section. That means if you consider this portion, in this portion how much amount of stresses are getting and what is the area of the cross section of this beam, that already we have discussed for a singly reinforced beam. If you have any doubts, go and again check your first analysis of singly reinforced beam. In the singly reinforced beam, we know the compressive force of the beam as 0.36 into FCK into B into XU. This is the compressive force acting on this singly reinforced beam. Next, one more compressive force we are acting in the beam, that is in the additional moment. Due to the additional moment, the additional compressive force also will act on the beam. The additional compressive force, again we are naming it as compressive force C2 equal to FSC into ASC. FSC into ASC. That means compressive force in compressive force in the steel bars equal to FSC into ASC, where ASC is the area of the steel reinforcement in the compression zone. Where ASC is the area of the steel reinforcement in the compression zone, whereas AST is the area of the steel reinforcement in the tension zone or bottom zone. If you observe here, this 0.36 FCK is the stress acting on the beam. From assumptions of limit state of collapse and flexible condition, we have calculated the how much amount of stress is acting on the beam. We have calculated that the stress into B into XU is the width of the beam. This B into XU is the width of the beam. This where B is the width of the beam. That width of the beam we are naming it as a B. This B is the width of the beam. For this also beam we are naming it as a B is the width of the beam. Again, if you consider here, this XU is the neutral axis of the beam. This XU is the neutral axis of the beam. That means the compressive force acting on the beam C1 equal to 0.36 into FCK into BXU. As well, if you take in this portion to carry the additional moment, the compressive force acting on the beam C2 equal to FSC into ASC, where this FSC is nothing but stress in steel in compression zone. That means here we are provided the reinforcement bars. In this reinforcement bars, we are providing the top zone also. Due to application of the load, some stresses may get developed in the reinforcement bars. That to develop this resistance of force, how much compressive force is acting on the beam, that we have to calculate. Again, if you observe here, this is total compressive force acting on the beam. We are taking this total section of the beam. That means where BXU is the total width and total depth of the compression portion. That means this is the B width of the section, and this XU is the total depth of the neutral axis. For this total depth, we have calculated this compressive force. But if you observe here, we have provided the reinforcement in this compression zone. If you come to the doubly reinforced beam, we have provided the reinforcement in the doubly reinforced beam. That means this area we have to deduct the stress of the concrete from the compression zone portion 1. That means here this total compressive force we are calculating this for total beam. But the steel reinforcement bars here are having the steel reinforcement bar. What we are providing, this area is occupied by the steel bars. Hence why we have to deduct the stress of steel bars in the top portion in the compressive forces once. Hence why what we are doing, we are deducting the compressive stresses or compressive forces in the steel bars. That compressive forces is nothing but again 0.446 into FCK, and this area of the steel bars in the compression zone we are naming it as ASC. That means compressive force C1 equal to 0.36 into FCK into B into XU minus 0.446 into FCK into ASC, where this ASC is the area of the steel reinforcement bars in the compression zone. 0.446 FCK is the stress acting on the beam in the compression direction. If you add this compressive force 1 and compressive force 2, you will get the total compressive force. The total compressive force is C equal to C1 plus C2. Total compressive force where C equal to C1 plus C2. That means C equal to, where C1 we are having 0.36 into FCK into B into XU, plus C2 we are having, sorry, as well as C1 0.36 into FCK into B into XU, minus this additional reinforcement compressive force we have to neglect. That means 0.446 into FCK into ASA. This is the additional steel reinforcement. This is the C1 value. As well as C2 value we are having FSC into ASC, where this total compressive force C equal to 0.36 into FCK into B into XU, plus the ASC is both common in the compressive force 1 and compressive force 2. I am taking this ASC as common. Sorry, ASC as common. If I am taking this ASC as common, I am getting this value as FSC minus 0.446 into FCK. Okay, this is the total compressive force acting on this doubly reinforced beam. In singly reinforced beam section, we know the compressive force acting on the beam, it has 0.36 into FCK into BXU. But to carry the additional moment, we are providing some extra steel bars in the beam. For this extra steel bars in the beam also will take care of some compressive stresses. That compressive stress we have to neglect. Hence why C1 equal to 0.36 into FCK into B into XU minus 0.446 into FCK into ASC. That means stress into area of the steel reinforcement in the compression zones. Where C2 equal to, again in this portion we have the one more compression force, that C2 equal to stress equal to, sorry, force equal to stress into area. Stress we are taking this Fs as the stress in steel in compression zone, where FSC is the stress in steel in a compression zone. This FSC how we are calculating, that I will discuss next session. And where this ASC is the area of the steel reinforcement in the compression zone. By calculating this by adding this all compressive force C1 plus C2, we are getting this total compressive force as 0.36 into FCK into BXU plus ASC into FSC minus 0.446 into FCK. This is the total compressive force acting on the beam. Next, I will calculate the total tensile forces acting on the beam. Suppose if you consider this a singly reinforced beam section, in singly reinforced beam section, the area of the steel reinforcement is there, as well as in this additional section also the area of the steel reinforcement is available here. That additional steel reinforcement also now we will calculate. Now we have to write the step it as analysis of tensile forces. We have to name it as analysis of tensile forces. Okay, the design procedure, singly reinforced beam and doubly reinforced beam is both different. You need not to worry. Okay, next I am calculating these values of analysis of tensile forces. I am writing here the steps. Analysis of tensile forces. Analysis of tensile forces. This analysis of tensile forces, again I am considering for this singly reinforced beam section, as well as I am considering this for additional carrying moment capacity section. That tensile forces we are naming it as T1. Okay, where T1 is the tensile forces acting on the beam for the singly reinforced beam. For this singly reinforced beam, how much amount of tensile force is acting, already we have calculated for the analysis and design procedure of singly reinforced beam. Again, the total tangential force acting on the singly reinforced beam T1 equal to, again force equal to stress into area. The stress acting on the steel, we know this value as 0.87 into F5. That means tangential force acting on the singly reinforced balanced section T1 equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST1. This is the tangential force acting on this for singly reinforced beam. As well as we are having the tangential force acting on this additional section or additional moment carrying section. The T2 value equal to, again tangential force T2 in the second section T2 equal to, we are having 0.87 into Fy into AST into 2. This is the second tangential reinforcement for this beam section. Now I want to calculate the total tangential reinforcement. That means if you take this total doubly reinforced beam, for this doubly reinforced beam, how much amount of tangential force is acting on that beam, we have to calculate. That means total tangential force T equal to tangential force in this singly reinforced balanced section plus tangential force for additional beam section T1 plus T2. That where T1 it has 0.87 into Fy into AST1 plus T2 we are having a 0.87 into Fy into AST2. While calculating the problem, they will give the directly the area of the steel reinforcement for the beam. That means here AST1 we are having some particular value, this AST2 we are having some particular value, but while asking in problem they will give the combination of both area of steel 1 and the area of the steel 2. For this area of steel 1, area of steel 2, how we have to divide, I will explain in the previous classes. If you substitute these parameters, that means 0.87 into Fy. If I am taking this common, I am getting this as AST1 plus AST2. If you substitute all these parameters, the total area of the steel equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST. This is the total area of the steel reinforcement acting on this tangential beam. This AST is the total area of the steel reinforcement, that is in the analysis of singly reinforced beam section as well as additional beam section. This 400 kN per meter, 350 kN per 50 kN per meter, this is the example value we have considered here. This is not the fixed values. For different types of loading conditions, the moments it will may vary based on the amount of the loading condition. This is the total tangential forces. As well as I will write the total compressive force also acting on the doubly reinforced beam. The total tangential force acting on the beam equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST1 plus AST2. By combination of both of these values, we are getting this value as total AST. This total compressive force I am naming it as C equal to 0.36 into FCK into B into XU plus plus ASC into FSC minus 0.446 into FCK. This is the total compressive force acting on the beam section. Up to now, this is the discussion for analysis of doubly reinforced beam section. In next session, we will calculate about the moment of resistance of the beam for the doubly reinforced beam. That means if you substituting, if you keeping some fixed values, that means width of the section, total depth of the section, M20 grade concrete, Fe415 grade steel, what is the limiting moment the beam it may can carry, that we will discuss from the next session. Thank you.